Welcome, all my lovely souls. I'm here to masquerade as your fortune teller because today is an appropriate time because October is ADHD Awareness Week. We recently had the death of Steve Jobs, and it's Halloween. The reason I bring these up is because before I knew I had ADHD, I had magical thinking. I've been hearing that in all the interviews regarding Steve Jobs. He had magical thinking. One year, I was a fortune teller for Halloween. And when the kids came up to my door, I would grant them a wish, or tell their fortune, or read their future in my crystal ball. What happened is those kids would take what I said and turned it into magical thinking, and we would become greater people because of that. One of the things that I have a problem with ADHD, how it's perceived, is we all think of the negatives. Even in the interviews regarding Steve Jobs, they said, how could anyone so intelligent be so stupid to not get surgery for his cancer? That is what I hear with adult ADD all the time. How can you be so stupid to lose your keys, and yet you run a business? I'm not unique in this. Magical thinking is very much an ADHD trait, and it's a positive quality. Leaders like Sir Richard Branson of Virgin Atlantic, how can he be so stupid not to know the difference between gross versus net? And yet he runs a multi-billion-dollar company. But just like telling somebody's fortune, make it easy for them to understand. And Richard Branson finally, after a company meeting, somebody took him aside and said, when you think of gross, think of all the fish in the ocean. And when you think of net, take that net and pull out what you need. That very simple understanding is what helps those of us with ADHD. But we also have greater intuition that we can change the world. Steve Jobs, how much did he change the world? That's what I want you to focus on, is the positive aspects of ADHD. Questions?
Is there anything that can be done to, when you say you have to explain it simply, is it because you're not thinking in those terms, or I guess I don't quite understand?
In a sense, that can be true. Think about all the different kinds of words that we have that mean different things. So if I'm thinking about an organ, am I thinking about a musical instrument or a body part? So you want to make sure you're crystal clear. And that hasn't anything to really do with ADD, it has to do with all of us. Where is our train of thought going? And unfortunately, people with ADD, their train of thought is a multi-station headquarters, and they might have thought something that you couldn't see in their mind that put them onto a tangent. So it helps, even if you're talking about musical instruments and want to continue talking about them, saying organ, sometimes it helps to focus if you just have a little visual with it. Other questions?
What medication do you recommend or not recommend?
The best solution for ADHD is exercise, eating right, and eliminating stress. If you do those things, you don't need any medication. But the society we live in today, we want the easy fix. And therefore, I was on Adderall for a long time. I would not have been able to cope without it, because what it allowed me to do was slow down. And amphetamine slowed me down enough to learn the cognitive skills to be able to function in our traditional inside-the-box thinking. Other questions?
How does one know for sure that they have ADHD?
That's a great question. There are some wonderful online surveys that you can do. You can get it as an app on your iPod. There's one from Dr. Hollowell, which is really advantageous. I myself wrote one, which you can find at dupageadd.org/ I'll have to get you that copy. You'll find the link eventually. But one of the things that I did in my survey was all the people that said, oh, well, I don't have ADD because I'm smart. Well, most people with ADD are above average intelligence, but they do some things that make them look less knowledgeable. Things like, oh, but I'm a success. Many successful people with ADD. So the first set of questions are actually the reverse. The things that people don't understand are the positive traits of ADHD. And then the second are some of the more disorder, debilitating aspects, such as not being able to comprehend time. We lose time. We're late for everything. So some of the quickest ways to know if you're ADD is if you have piles on your desk, in your closet, if you're always late to things, if people tell you that you think outside the box more than other people. Those are some of the more common traits of ADHD. Any others? Thank you.
Thank you.